Sure. When the puppies are 8 weeks old, they go out to a puppy home. They're raised and given lots of exposures to new sights and sounds. They're taken somewhere virtually every day. They learn basic obedience, such as sit, stay, down, come, and heel. So when we get them back as trainers, they have a pretty good foundation of behaviors. As trainers, what we do is we teach them how to stop for curbs, how to safely take somebody around obstacles, how to handle everyday city life with a not-sighted person. And then we use food and praise as rewards, and we also use corrections when they make a mistake.
Being a trainer, it's a very special and rewarding job. We get to not only work with the dogs, but also work with the people, and the day they graduate is a huge accomplishment for them and us as well. The matches were amazing. All of the dogs and the students, it was just great matches. Everyone was really happy. And today, being graduation, after seeing everyone leave, everyone's just happy and confident and ready to get out into the new world, so to start working with their dog.
I think it makes us stand out as a school that we do the training for wheelchairs.
Okay, I am 73 years old. I'm an amputee. I'm blind legally. I love life. I've had one of the most incredible experiences coming here and bonding with this great dog. I started losing my vision about 10 years ago. I stopped driving 8 years ago. I have macular degeneration, and they told me that I would never be completely blind, that I would always have peripheral vision. And I don't really know what happened, but I guess I made a mistake because it's not turning out that way. And then 3 years ago, well, actually 4 years ago, I had a surgery to repair my artificial knee, and I got MRSA, which is a very bad strain of infection. And after a year's time of trying to save my knee, I ended up losing the lower part of my leg. One of the questions you could have asked me that I think I've already answered is, are you bitter? And the answer is definitely not. This is life. Things happen. And I'm not bitter about anything.
So I like to do that with a lot of new students, even regular guide dogs. Some trainers do it and some don't. I like it better. I'd rather them learn on me and they're not worrying about the dog sniffing and pulling them. They're all concentrating on that. So I like to do that with everybody new. I got the call last May, I believe, to go interview Miss Jean she lives in Cocoa. So I went down there, and she's very rare and she's very fast in a wheelchair. Not many are. So I had to find a dog to suit her speed, which after I got back, I took all the information, then I went down to the kennels and actually found Wagner. There's a couple of things you look for where Wagner kind of crab walked when he's in harness. And that's not good on regular guide work, but on wheelchair it's good because their butt stays away from the wheelchair.
My first experience outside with him. He's so great. It's scary. It's scary to put your life in a dog's hands. When you've had control all your life and all of a sudden you don't.
Yeah.
My heart's going 50,000 miles an hour.
Sure. I am 40 years old and I was born in New York, but I was raised in South Florida. And when I was 7, I was diagnosed with Stargardt's disease, which is a hereditary retinal disease which causes central blindness. So as a child, my mobility was very good. I just had difficulty reading print and reading the blackboard in school and the textbooks, so I had things in large print. trust in knowing like what they're capable of doing, because I've only ever used a cane. So it's kind of knowing just the trust of learning to trust them.
Yeah.
Because the cane, it's just up to us. Or it's learning to trust them.
Yeah.
I guess they're learning to trust that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is she gonna feed me? Is she gonna pet me?
Yeah, and you.
Well, when we're beginning training, we start out, we go and we clean the kennels, make sure everybody's getting along and behaving themselves, and then we choose which dogs we're taking out for the day. At the beginning of training, we're just working around the block. We start out here in the Sarasota Center and we just work on down curbs. We work on one thing at a time. Once they've mastered the down curbs, then we start crossing the street and working on up curbs. Then from there we go on to work with obstacles, we work with traffic, we try to introduce them to different kinds of city life and indoor work, malls, grocery stores. We try to take it one step at a time, but as they get further in their training, they're encountering more and more. So a typical day usually involves quite a lot of distractions and obstacles and curbs. We do. I mean, it's inevitable. You'll get attached. It's a little bit easier because we're working with several dogs at a time, so you can kind of split up the affection a little bit, and then certainly seeing them all go to happy endings. It's very rewarding, and then we have a whole new set of dogs waiting for us when we get out of class. That being said, I'm certainly not immune to it. I've had two dogs I've had a very hard time saying goodbye to, but they're both working guides now and doing a great job, so that's the best reward I could have gotten.
I was so thrilled when I got the approval to get a guide dog because I knew it had to be big enough for this chair. And I was so thrilled. And Wagner is just the perfect thing, just the perfect size, and we get along so good. He knows my moves. He knows what I say to him, and he loves me.
I guess it was like the second week we did a route that had different obstacles set along the path, and so I went through that, and I was amazed that she was able to navigate all of those different obstacles. The obstacles simulated different things we would encounter in our everyday life as we're walking. But then I have some light perception, and then I said, oh, I want to try to do it with, they have these goggles that block out all light, so it's completely dark. You don't get any visual information. So I said, oh, I'm going to try to do it with wearing those goggles. And after doing that, and Lucy brought me through every obstacle, and I think it was really from that moment on when I finished that I just completely trusted her, that she will keep me safe and lead me and guide me, and I then knew I could trust her.
The puppy raisers, we have puppy raisers day still, and it's I think it's great that we continue that for them, because they put so much time and effort into raising these dogs and exposing them and taking them to work. I mean, they spend a whole good year with the dog every day, all day, and it's very rewarding for them to see the end result. And puppy raising alone is a huge, huge commitment, and I think I can say for everyone, our heart goes out to all those that do that. So.
I just thought getting a guide dog, it just seemed more comfortable and natural walking with a dog than walking with a stick.
Well, we actually start out with the harness handle down, and we encourage the dog. The puppy raisers work a lot on forward and heel with the dog. Heel is the dog walking at your side, and forward is them walking out in front of you. So when we start working with them, we make sure that they're out in front of us. The harness handle is down so they don't feel any pressure, and we just encourage them to pull out. Once they're confident and they're pulling out in front of us, then we pick up the harness handle and we teach them to want to pull. Most of them enjoy it. Dogs actually have what's called an opposition reflex, meaning when they feel that pressure on their chest, they want to push against it. They want to pull as hard as they can, and we want to encourage that because that's how the handler feels how they're guiding.
And at home I have a husband, Chris, and my daughter, Cassie. And then we have a dog, Jack Russell Cupcake. And she's 4. So I'm not sure yet how they're going to interact, but and I know Cassie's very excited about, Cassie's 10 years old, and she's very excited about having Lucy in our house as well.
I also had Jill, who received Lucy, who was a black Goldador, which is the golden retriever in the Labrador mix. That was Jill's first guide dog. It was, I think, a little tough in the beginning. You know, she was away from her family and her career, and Lucy is, she's very spunky, and it fit Jill well. By the end, they became really good, and Jill could read her well.
But it's always a challenge making sure that the dog and the person are working together as a team. It's not one or the other.
Everybody's just been so kind, and it's just really just a loving environment. They love these dogs with all their heart. It really is a labor of love.
I mean, when you stop and think about it, if I help other people with getting a dog, I've accomplished so much.